The Greeks believed that the god of wind, Aeolus, lived and resided in the Aeolian Islands. Really, really long period of time, man's been occupying these islands, living amongst these volcanoes, and this wind and the wind god was a very dominant part of their thinking. And for our trip, as a play on words there, chasing Aeolus, the wind is going to be the dominant factor that will affect it. Look, I've loved flight since I was a kid. My first free flight was on my dad's back at 4 years of age in a hang glider. At 15 years of age, I go to an air show and I see these two brand new fighter jets, and I walk straight up to the guy in charge and said, "Righty, how to get into this thing?" Well, that guy became my first commanding officer when I went to my first fighter squadron. He was a great mentor. Sadly, he died within the first 30 days I was at that unit, and I found the wreckage of his aircraft, so that really had an impact on me, as did the other 4 friends that I buried during my career. Chasing Aeolus is a plan to sail, hike and fly the 7 Aeolian volcanoes in under 7 days. It's quite a challenge based on the time and the fact that we've got to move the boat from island to island. I then have to get the boat safely anchored or moored, then put the paraglider on, hike each volcano, fly down, pack up and keep moving. Mathematically it's possible, but like all adventures, we don't really know what's going to happen, be it on the sea, on the ground, hiking, or in the air. It's yet to be seen whether we're going to have enough wind to sail the boat, enough wind to launch safely, land safely, fly safely. So there's a lot of unknowns. It doesn't worry me. In fact, it's what makes it an adventure. It's what I embrace.
North of Sicily in the Tyrrhenian Sea lie the Aeolian Islands. These 7 islands erupted from the sea floor, with some of the volcanoes still active today. Our team will assemble in Messina, we will charter a yacht and then head for the westernmost island of Aeolus. We will then island hop towards the east and complete Panarea and Stromboli, where its volcano has been in continuous eruption for the past 2,000 years.
Righty, just arrived ashore at Volcano on the paddleboard. I think the ground guys have got some problems with the boat. I haven't seen them yet. Ben, Serge on 17, do you read?
Ben and Rita are on their way up.
The first volcano became a bit of a challenge because we were racing against time. We jumped on the plane and we were sitting ready to take off Melbourne on an Emirates flight, and then we got the captain telling us that unfortunately this plane wouldn't be taking off today, and that threw our whole trip in disarray right from the beginning.
So we're walking along the beach where the umbrellas are now. We just need to try and catch up with you, but as you started March.
Yeah, AFM, I'm running for daylight, so I think forget about joining me and focus on the drone and arrival.
Copy that.
It took us hours to get off the plane. We jumped on the next flight, and ahead of us we had a 24-hour travel trip.
The driver, he got us a little bit lost, but we're finally here.
And so we arrived, we got the charter out there, and we headed straight for Volcano, and Serge wanted to try and do the first hike to try and catch up and do his first hike and fly.
The island of Volcano, the most southern of the group, the quickest to get to. This was a race against the sun. There was issues with flights, issues with the charter company getting the boat. Eventually we get out of there. My plan is already in the bin, and the plan was to go east to west following the wind. We're now going for the quickest one, and I've got a race against the sun.
We jumped straight off the boat. Serge is already ahead of us, and we are hiking.
Just getting close. Available light. Going as fast as I can. Ciao. Hello.
Then Serge had some complications, and we are losing light.
Unfortunately, the path that I'd planned to use had been overgrown by blackberries, so it was just impassable. Ripped up myself and my backpack trying to get through that. There's a dead end. Blackberries. Try another way. Okay, I can really start to smell the sulfur dioxide now. getting a bit of asthma, which is normal. That stuff. Almost to the top of the crater. Wind's feeling good from the north. Got the new route, got to the top of the crater, still had time to get off. I went clockwise around the top of the crater, aiming for this location here, which is the planned takeoff. I'm running around the crater, so I make it before last light. Oh, it's hot up here, and it smells. As I came around, I found myself in a field of boiling mud and steam, and enough to melt in the shoes, so I had to backtrack. And by the time I got around, it was too late to launch. And sadly for me, I've got no camping gear, got no food, no water, and it was a pretty hot and fast hike up. I'm here with Ben behind the camera. We're just going to get a bit of sleep, get up at 4. It's 10:30 now, so we're about 5 hours sleep. And then we'll find a nice takeoff into wind, reassess the wind in the morning, and then launch, get down to the boat, and then we can get some supplies then, and get a good brekkie into us. Starting to really question the risk-reward of this first volcano, but that all went away at sunrise when the sun came up, perfect launch conditions, and I had a fantastic flight. That fog looks amazing. Okay, I don't think we're going to get any more than that. Launching. This particular adventure has an incredible amount of unknowns and very difficult to plan for. I'm not aware of anyone who's done this before. In paragliding, the micrometeorology can really change a lot. It can change direction, strength, and the wind will never be exactly what's planned, and you'll have to always flex your plan based on the weather. What a beautiful morning. You do the best plan you can, and then the weather's usually the one that dictates it. So I think if we combine both sailing and paragliding, we've probably got two of the most flexible sports you could put together, which is going to make for an interesting trip, I think.
We pretty much didn't get any sleep because we slept literally on gravel.
It's going to be almost a nil-wind landing. There's a fence there.
Having already fallen behind, it was just literally go, go, go non-stop. He took off, I climbed down, then it was straight into a boat to the next island.